want to throw this out there, and we don't necessarily have to do this. But do any of you have any ideas that you have for a piece that you have absolutely nowhere to go with? You have no idea where you're going to go with it. You have an idea, you have a scenario in your head, you don't know how to turn it into any kind of a piece. Jason? Okay. Now, my advice, and this is partially part of Dean's idea and part of Josh's idea that I'm merging into something. Write down exactly, verbatim, word for word, that scene. Doesn't matter if the language sucks. Okay? Now, the exercise we just did, where we wrote everything we could think about it, you could apply that exercise to that scenery. What might be slightly easier, if you can't even get to that point, is to find as many words to describe every aspect of that scene, of that situation, of that person. And then you can apply those words into the piece.
Put all 5 senses on the page. Put all 5 senses on every page.
For example, let's say we're talking about this. Many words to describe this. Green, brown, broken, crusty, seed, tree, piece. Apply that same concept to your piece. Write down the scene verbatim. I'm just going off the premise that it's a scene. It could be a person. Like, you know of this person. You know of this battle. In your head. That's all you do. Write down word for word. It doesn't matter if the language sucks. And then write as many words as you can to describe it. And then possibly you can bleed it into our previous exercise, which is coming off the top of your head, something to do with what you just wrote. Okay? Now, if you want to try that exercise now, we can do that. This is particularly if you're having something that's been in your head for a while that you're struggling with. Does anyone want to try that? Elena? No? Josh?
I don't have anything that's been really stuck there. I haven't been able to do. I usually have something to do with a lot of
Gabby?
I'll give you an example of a story. I was very stuck. Very stuck. About 8 or 9 years ago, I had an idea for a story, and I every time I put pen to paper, I couldn't make words come out. And it turned out it was me. It wasn't the story. It was me. I needed to change my entire life. And that very same idea is the outline for my novel now.
My problem with this is that might be a bit drastic for people.
I'm just saying, if you're stuck, you may not be stuck creatively, you may be stuck. Look at what is sticking you. What are you clogged up about? What do you need to change in order to make it work? Sometimes it's bigger than you think it is.
And I'm always on the premise of ass-busting hard work.
Well, yeah, but that was ass-busting hard work.
Change is one of the hardest things to do in your life. It's also one of the scariest.
But I also flow more better. All of my writing flows. Yeah, I also flow better now. All of my writing flows better now.
You're not really afraid of that one anymore. Yeah, Lisa went and changed a lot of things. Aaron, did you want to try this exercise? Anything you're stuck on? Dean?
Off the top of my head, I've had so many projects in mind that I've never actually gotten started.
Have you written these projects down on paper anywhere?
Maybe back at home.
Okay. This is the number one tip. Write every fucking thing down. You see this little tiny notebook I gave you?
Yeah.
It's full of a lot of really shitty ideas. And it's also full of some of the stuff that I've turned into full pieces. The anti-life equation is in here. The basis of my amalgam mythos theory, which nobody has really heard much about yet, is in here. To Love and Lose is in here. What was that other one I did? The 10-page piece. Oh, The Phoenix is in there. So, Love Toy's in there. I'm in the middle of writing something else called The Eulogy of Dad. Is in there. Yeah, I told you I was stuck on this dad aspect right now. You don't want to know part of the reason? Because I'm fucking here. My dad took me here every weekend as a kid. This is probably the perfect place for me to write this.
Right. Anger is an energy.
So, yeah, and Destructicon. Please come to my events because they inspire lots of art. Even if it's just beating on a car and dancing gaily on top of its corpse.
Do you know how much my head shrinker loved the fact that I destroyed a crib? No, I'm not kidding you. Everybody
I'm so
was in
happy
awe
for
of you for that. Yeah.
Destructicon is an event that you have to attend. It's just, if you got anything bothering you, you can get it out there.
I still need some wires for internet porn.
For what?
Oh, I have tons of wires in my basement.
Awesome. Well, that laptop that I crushed, that I fucked up, the way the keyboard bent was like a...
It did kind of look like a casting
chair.
couch.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so what I did is I took a Barbie and melted her hands in like a pose, and I want to tie her to the board with
Okay.
wires, and the piece is called Internet Porn.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Josh and
Okay.
his half porn pieces.
Well, Barbie dolls were originally meant to be gag gifts for adult sex parties.
Yeah, we
So,
don't like Barbie much.
no.
She's a plastic bitch that must die.
Yeah.
But anyways.
And she gives girls really bad complexes
If
about their
nobody wants
bodies.
to work on that exercise right now, I strongly suggest that if you ever get any idea, I carry a little paper pad, a little tiny one, like a guest check pad. In my
David
pocket.
Sedaris carries one. He writes down
Almost
stuff
constantly.
about groceries
If
all the time.
Write down the idea,
Yeah.
don't lose the idea. Transfer it somewhere, a computer file, a bigger notebook that you won't lose, just somewhere. I write while I'm driving and kind of swerve all over the road. But there's also tape recorders. If you get an idea, write it down. You never know when the fuck you're going to use it. And if it's an idea that's a really interesting concept and you got nowhere to go with it, that's the beauty of the suggestion.
And the morning pages. I write every morning. There's a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And they're in there. You have to write at least 3 pages every morning. It gets the garbage out of your head so that a good idea has like free passage to come on out.
For Aaron for a long time, because Aaron has a long ass drive home.
Well,
Tape recorder, yeah.
I tried to have dictation on this now, but you have to say the punctuation so I sound like Moss. Yeah.